So let's get into what things cost and the ranges. That way people are educated, they know the range. And
Right.
again, nobody's wrong, right? They can charge in the high end. Who knows what environment, what their things are costing, what animals and herbs cost them. And
Right, yeah.
at the end of the day, to each his own. But I'm going to give you the range. I
Mhm.
thought long about this, but I've been around enough to know that there's some ranges.
Yeah.
It's out there. If you look at certain kind of media outlets, you'll find out when people talk about prices.
Mhm.
You know, when it comes to receiving hand and bifa, your ikufa, usually the low end is about $500 or $600. The very low end, maybe if you go to Cuba, it might be $200 or $300. In certain places, $600. But anything under 1,000 is the low end. I've seen and heard people charge $1,500 for hand and bifa. $1,500 for your warriors, or $3,000 for both, or $3,000 just for your hand and bifa. That is getting into a very high range.
Right.
Okay. Anything more than that, in my opinion, is on excessive. Okay, so you're charging $800, $900 for hand and bifa, kufa. That's fine. You start charging $1,100, $1,200, $1,500. That gets into the high range for just that alone. I've seen a lot. That seems to be like kind of like the norm. What's going on? $1,200, $1,500 for hand and bifa, and I've seen $3,000 for yoko ocha. Yoko ocha. It used to be the very, 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 very low end. If you did a lot of sacrifices, did on your own, was between 8 and 10. That was back 15 years ago. It would be 8, 10. Nowadays, the low end is 10 to 12,000. Why? It's because to do it right requires a village.
Yes.
Okay, you can't.
Right.
You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself. You need 10, 15 other orishas.
Yes.
Other people who have been crowned. You need people who know what to do, know the prayers, know the songs that need to be said, the process that leads up to that, the head cleansings, the spiritual masses, the investigation of your ancestors, coming into the part. There's things you do before the day of river crowning. There are things done at the river. There are things done. I'm not going to talk about the ceremony, but there are people that are needed for that. And then the crowning itself requires many people. They can be up to 20, 10, and they're participating. Right. There are an abundance of birds, goats, multiple. Again, we're going back to, sure. Maybe Nisheshe, it'll only cost you maybe half that. But you're only getting one Orisha.
Right.
There are 5, minimum, if not more, that all get a 4-legged animal. All birds after that, multiple birds. Someone to do it know how to sacrifice those, whether it be in Italero if you're at the Ocha house or Babalao if you're Ifa centric. Someone who knows how to do things with the hair, knows how to process the washing that is done with all those sacred herbs specific to that Orisha, singing the songs to those otanes, the stones that will embody and carry the Orishas.
Yeah.
You need a Orisha priest to do that. You can't just anybody do it.
Right.
Then it comes to the feedings, and then it comes to the head and placing the ashe on the head. A throne with fabric. Someone specifically knows how to do that. Put it up. Prayers. And officiate, Italero, which is the master of ceremonies, not the Babalao. Even if there's any Babalao eccentric house, the one who runs that room is the Italero Oriate. He's the Oba. Even when I get invited to go do some ceremonies there.
Mm-hmm.
Eoba, I refer to him. Hey, Buddha boy, what you say, Oba, because you are the one running the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
You got my respect. But you have to pay him. You have to pay the house where it's going to be at. Sometimes there are people who just rent their houses out because you don't have a space to do it. Sometimes I live in an apartment, or I don't live in a backyard, or I got to go over here. There is a house that said, we got the facility, we got the outdoor kitchen, we got this room, we got here, we got the space to house the animals. We do everything and everybody goes there. There's a house for that. You know, you pay, and then you pay the italero to do all of that. And then every orisha, you'll get a life reading called an ita. Each orisha will speak to you on those life readings, what those lagoons came out. Okay? And there needs to be someone reputable to do that, to interpret. Oriate. Okay? And then there's a process done after that. Mm-hmm. And things done to you every single day. And your elders have to be there a week without working their jobs, without doing it, and being there. And travel.
Yes.
Travel expenses for either the italero come to your house if you're doing it in-house, or you have to go over there. Mm-hmm. The babalao, the people to open the animals properly and remove and separate the bodies of it, the acheses. Mm-hmm. Skilled in that. Pluck all those birds and cook them. And they all have a special cook that knows how to cook those animals that could be eaten. Because we haven't eaten yet. Amongst that, there's food. You got to feed them. Okay? There's a lot that goes involved when you do it right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? And yes, it can cost up to that much money. We haven't talked about what it costs for all those materials.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, even without an abuse, it's about 10 and 12 just to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And I remember when my two daughters did it, we saved money on the elders. And it still cost us about $18,000. Yeah. 20 probably or more when it was said and done with all materials. And that was what no elders getting anything.
Yeah. So
just to put that in perspective. So 10 to 12 is on the low end. It's about 14,000 is acceptable in the medium range. Now, it may cost more, and it does cost more for certain orishas like the warriors and the Guao, Gono, Chosi, and even Oya, because there are other things that have to be done, other animals like a hutia, ekude. There are things that cost money, extra animals, extra processes that have to be done. And I can go in between about 16,000.
Right.
Maybe 18. 16 is about the range. It's a medium range. 14 to 16 is a medium range for crowning, especially when you get into the ones that it costs a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Now, you start getting over 16, 18,000. That's, in my opinion, that's excessive, but that's not me to judge. Maybe things cost more. Maybe in your area, in your town, everything's been tripled. I don't know.
Right.
But a lot of times elders look at it as an opportunity to really get rich off somebody and make money. That's why they force you. You got to get crowned. And then they're charging you 18 and they're getting 4, 5, 6,000 at the top of that. Yeah. So the more is charged, sometimes more that the elders take. And that's sometimes the case and sometimes it's not. I don't know. That's not me to judge. But you start getting into 16, 18,000, I will start side-eyeing. You start getting into 20, 25, and 30, that to me is an abuse.
Yeah.
But that's between them and God. I'm judging them.
Yeah.
But you need to be aware. People are like, oh, I paid $25,000 for the crowning of an Oshun. Yeah. I don't know. It means a lot. But hey, so